Hello. Sorry about yesterday. That was pretty much almost my whole story. To the ending already, and that's when I realized how far I was on the time. Anyway, so as soon as I saw the mailman, he I was no longer focusing looking at him and then running forward and so forth. I was actually just looking straight. My focus changed and I went directly to the mailman, and he noticed, and I saw him from my peripheral vision because he was close to me. Like when I say his car was like right next to me, and he was very close to me, and I saw him look up, and the mailman had already turned the corner, and he was across that main street though that I was talking about, but he was like approaching us, like heading towards our direction, and we were both going this way, so I could see him in my peripheral, and he looked straight ahead, and he saw the mailman. And at this point I started to cross that main road, and he just, like, when he just turned the corner, he took off straight past the mailman, and then like his tires are screeching past that curve, down that neighborhood street. So he was gone. Like I was saying, he was gone. And I was so relieved and then also frantic. And I couldn't even speak. I was so out of breath from all the running I was doing, and how, like, I thought I was literally about to, God only knows what would have happened to me. So I couldn't talk. And then when I was talking to the mailman, the only thing I could get out was he was trying to take me. And the mailman looked back and saw like the tail end of his car, but we couldn't, no license plate. I don't know. Basically no information. He drives like, it was almost like a baby blue color car. And it was like an old car though. It was like a 1950s type of car. And he was a white male, and I would say he was in his 40s, like his mid 40s or something. And he had these like sky blue kind of like creepy eyes, and his hair was not, it was blonde but almost like a white blonde, like a really, like, not albino but kind of like, like very white, but it was blonde hair, but it was just so light, his hair. So it was very scary, a very scary experience. And the mailman, when I got to him, I was like, I just wanted to jump in his like vehicle, and he wouldn't let me. And he was like, no, I'm sorry, honey, I can't let you in here. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell do you mean? I just almost got kidnapped. How can you not let me in your vehicle? Like, please just like take me to safety. That's all I wanted, was to go home, just to be safe. And so anyways, he he um he basically told me that he had a federal vehicle and I wasn't allowed in a federal vehicle, and that he could get in trouble and he could get arrested or lose his job, or I don't know, whatever. I don't remember and I know that to be true, but I'm just saying at the time I didn't really care. But I just stood there and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And then he said that he would walk, as I walked, he would stay next to me until I made it home. And he would drive his vehicle, but slowly. So I was like, okay, that'll work for me. And that's how I made it home. Now, when I get home, I called, and it was literally like the mailman was like, okay, bye, see you later. And it wasn't like, hey, let me call the cops or anything. But again, no one had cell phones there and whatever. And I think I did tell the police not the police, the mailman, that I was going to call my parents, or my dad he had a job, you couldn't really reach him. So anyways, my mom wasn't able to reach my dad. And then my dad got home, and then I don't know if they made I don't know if a police report was made per se. I know that I think my parents called the police, but they may have said there was not much they could do. I don't remember. I don't know the details. I just don't ever remember talking to a police officer. I did see the man. My dad wanted to kill him. I think my dad took me around the block looking for the man, and I couldn't find him. I gave the description the best that I could of the man. I mean, I was in my room and I had the window open, the blinds were open, and I was able to see, you know, if I just looked straight ahead, I could see outside. And I saw his car drive by. And I called my mom because I can't call my dad again. He's at work. And I said, Mom, I saw him drive by. And, you know, so I think I saw him either one or two other times. And for the longest time, I didn't walk. And if I did, I wouldn't walk alone or far, even though this happened within a block from my house. Crazy, which I've seen stories and I know this has happened. It's a common thing where it's so close to home. But anyways, so the man never, like, I pray that man never got hold of a child. I pray about that. And I mean, it's been so long now, it's over. And God only knows how that guy is or that man is, or I don't know. I have no idea. I just have no idea what the heck happened ever to that man. I was just going to throw in one more story before I finish, since I was wearing sunglasses and I could see the red dots on my eyes. But anyways, nose, I mean. At my Theo and Thea's house, I was there one day, and we heard these screeching tires like going through the whole neighborhood, and we could hear two of them. And then all of a sudden we heard the, you know, and then like a crash sound. And it was right in front of my Theo and Thea's house. And I was young, again, I was like 9, 10, I don't even know. Anyways, I'm a very curious soul. And my parents, I think my mom was only there, my Theo and Thea and them, they ran outside to see what it was, and they told us kids to stay inside. And of course I didn't listen. And so when I went outside, I saw the crowd of people around the stop sign. And so when I went out there, I saw a man stopping on another man's head, and he had just stopped. I saw just one kick, and one man was in a motorcycle, the other man was in a truck. The guy that was in the truck hit the motorcycle, and the guy that was in the motorcycle, of course, had the most damage because he was in a motorcycle. And they were going at fast speeds. I know it was either road rage. I don't know if they knew them. I don't know. All I know was that it was obviously some sort of road rage. And the man, when I arrived there, I saw this is gross, but I saw the man's skull, the skin to his skull flapped over, and he was in a pile of blood. And this man was still kicking him. And so of course I freaked out, and I was like so scared, and like, how could someone do something that ugly and horrible to somebody even while they're down? Okay. And I just couldn't believe it. And I went inside crying, and then I got yelled at because I went outside, and I couldn't just believe what I saw, and the horrible and the ugliness of people. Now, I'm tying these two stories together. Why? Because they both involve two separate types of monsters, and there's many out there. And there's many people who maybe not necessarily are always a monster, but can be pushed to that limit, or you can just experience somebody who is an ugly state of mind, or you can just see, and someone can experience an ugly side to a person, or just encounter an ugly person in general, and I'm talking in here. And when we encounter those, while we're encountering abuse or any kind of situation that we see, that we feel, and anything, any kind of abuse, we need to remember to always know that we're not alone, and that God is there for us and there with us, and that we need to send prayers to those ugly people to help them to hopefully heal one day. And never stop fighting. Never. Because you're always going to encounter ugly people. There's always going to be ugly people in this world. And we need to just keep fighting the love fight.